Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If Sagittarius is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Sagittarius, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And an Eight of Wands, this is very good because this is kind of part of your Sagittarius energy. Astrologically, this card is Mercury in Sagittarius. I feel like you are a person with a lot of good ideas. I feel like you have a lot of irons in the fire. You have a lot of things that you've like kind of invested in, you know, that you're somebody that likes to diversify, right? You don't put all your eggs in one basket. Yeah, you have, I think, a lot of little things going on, hoping one of them will turn into a big thing, right? Maybe you have a central job or career or purpose or focus in your life. Maybe you're retired. Maybe you're in school. But nevertheless, supplementing that, I feel you have a lot of other things going on too. A lot of projects maybe that you've started around the house, a lot of ideas that you're sort of in the middle of, solidifying and in the middle of manifesting, right? Maybe a lot of people that you've sort of networked with, and you have sort of a handshake agreement that maybe one day we'll work together, you know. But I feel like you really have connected yourself in a lot of different ways. Yeah, I feel like this is a lot of good ideas that have. It's like you have the ideas written down, and you've maybe done a little bit of work in a few of these areas, right? And in a way, it's like we spread ourselves pretty thin sometimes, you know? And so the effort that really could be put into one thing and done very, very well, I think, we sort of spread it out to many, many things, and then the progress is a little bit slower. You know, I'm kind of that way too. I've been working on a tarot reading course for the website now for quite a while, and it's one of many projects that I have, and it's just kind of slow progress, you know. It's coming soon, though, I promise. And I feel that you're kind of the same way, right? And I wouldn't ask you to change that for anything, because I feel like it really, you have a lot of things, a lot of little fires that are lit, and then at any moment, one of those could really start taking off, right? One of them could either, the right resources could be there, or the timing can be just right. It's like you have a lot of feelers out there in the universe, you know? You've put a lot of intention out into different places, and now it's just a matter of, it's like you're an angler, it's like you go fishing and you have a lot of poles in the water. It's like you're just sitting there, you got 10 poles in the water, because one of them's going to get a bite. One of them's going to get a hit, And I like that energy. We're going to see where it goes. We're going to put it into some context with our Dove and Serpent spread. Oh, there is now the Eight of Pentacles. Very nice. See, this is weird because now it's an Eight of Wands, Eight of Pentacles, fire to earth, manifesting, right? This is the art of manifestation right here. And yes, it will be in the online tarot reading course. But it's the electrical circuit of creation, but this is a 1-to-1 ratio. This is 8 to 8, right? So I wonder if all of your fishing poles are going to get a bite. Holy smokes, right? That would be something else. Maybe you should get ready for that, because this is sort of uncanny. To get the 8 and the 8 right off the bat, fire to earth, manifestation. Reading can be over right now, but I like to talk to you, and so we'll keep going. We have more cards anyway, so. But that's very, very good, right? And then it opens up the whole universe here. Princess of Wands, yeah, makes sense to me. We've got a Knight of Swords coming in. Kind of almost looks like a fishing pole kind of thing in a way. Looks like maybe they're holding a couple of fishing poles. And of course we got the 9. The 8 and the 8 lead to a 9. That stupendous energy. Yet another court card, a Queen of Cups, but the bright and beautiful Sun. Another court card, a Prince of Wands, and the High Priestess coming in. I think that the 9 of Pentacles really is it. I think there are major financial blessings coming your way that are going to make a huge, huge impact for you. Okay? I think it's going to be a lot of fish on every pole. Okay? Everything that you've been doing is it seems like at the same time, everything's just going to get a hit. So how are you going to go and reel in 10 fish at the same time? I don't know. You'll figure it out, you know. But the 9 of Pentacles, really, really good. And then the court cards, too, are interesting because I feel like this is maybe the way that you can reel in 10 fish at a time is to your friends, your family, be like, hey, grab a pole. You know, if you're standing here, grab a pole. All right, I don't know if you've ever fished before, but I grew up in California, you know, Pacific Ocean, San Francisco. We used to fish. You know, maybe an off topic, but I don't really like the sport fishing. Do you know what I mean? I don't like the idea of reeling something in and then throwing it back and having a good laugh. You know, everything that we ever caught, we would eat. You know, I haven't been fishing in, 20 years, but when I was younger, a kid, teenager and stuff, we used to go, but we'd eat everything that we caught, you know. It's a respect thing for that ocean. I'm a solar Cancer, so, the ocean is sort of my thing anyway. Anyway, back on topic. Mystery card, let's select it. This is a random card from the Pamela Coleman Smith Tarot. This is the Factor Infinite and Unknown. It's going to go right here with our tiny horse, Mr. Ed. We're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together, and it will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. Okay, if you have a prediction for that card, put it in the comments down below. Let's do it together. Let's make it a group exercise. Yeah. Who is the older male in your life that's passed? I'm getting an older male energy, maybe dad, grandpa, maybe an older sibling or an older friend. I'm getting that strong, there's a strong male energy connected to you right now. I think it's someone that has passed. Feels like they know you, feels like they're family, They had something with the hot peppers, or they really like chili peppers or spicy food or something like that. Yeah. I feel like that person is right there with you now. Maybe it's somebody that you used to go fishing with. Maybe it is a dad or grandpa or uncle, something like this. Let's take a look around the room and see where our major arcana lie. We have the universe, the sun, and of course, the high priestess. And I think this is really nice. I love having the sun and the universe together because it kind of shows that this is cosmic in scope for you, that this is really a fulfillment of your true will, your true nature. You are the best version of yourself. You are radiating as a star in space. You are in the company of other stars, right? That you are a member of the body of God, right? That you are in the universe as a co-creator with spirit right now. Okay, and it says that you're exactly where you're supposed to be, doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. It really is that kind of, when we talk about certain cards, we say, who are you, where are you, and what are you doing 5-10 years down the road? I say that sometimes. I feel that you're in that spot now. Right now, you are who you're supposed to be, where you're supposed to be, doing what you're supposed to be doing. So I think maybe there are some long-term goals here that are coming to fruition, that everything's sort of coming together all at once. Right? That there were many paths, but they're all leading to Rome, And of course, I feel that you are just going to be absolutely jubilant about this. I feel a very, what is the word? A viridescent energy coming in. That the return of this green, money green, right? With this 9 of Pentacles. I feel like there is there's a return of just joy and life and light and happiness and abundance, for reals. The High Priestess at the end is a wonderful card too, because I think that it is you in this attitude of reception Okay, and it's also, I think, the divine energy, spirit, is sort of welcoming you, because what the high priestess does is shows us the way through the darkness to get to the empress energy, let's say, on the other side. Right? It's the portal directly to that beautiful, perfect life, the dream life, the best life. It really does show us the way, and I think that you're being welcomed. And I think that you're being rewarded for trusting your intuition. And that's going to be significant when we talk about some of these other cards. So we've got our 3 major arcana. We have, obviously, some fire. We've got a little bit of water right here, which I think is your general energy. It's very good. We have a little bit of air, which, is also good. You got to have a heart and a mind that are acting as the pure conductors of this spiritual electricity, right? This force and fire that is manifesting, this art of manifestation, requires our human mind and heart as conductors of that electricity, of that spiritual current, right? Electrical current or a current of water, however you want to look at it. We tend to look at it as the electrical current when we have this fire and earth combination. And again, we got fire and earth over here. We've got fire and earth with the sun and the universe together, right? I mean, it's really, really nice. It's really something else here. We do have, obviously, our earth cards here, and even the universe is a little bit of earth, but also the discipline, right? There's a lot of Saturn in that card, too. So let's go back to the 8 of Pentacles. The manifestation, I think that it's been a slow, steady growth in some of these things, and that's what sort of you've been sort of like tending to each little flower. Maybe you have a garden, and you have different vegetables. You got your tomatoes, you got your green beans. Over here you got your cabbage and your squash and stuff. And you're sort of tending to everything based on what it needs. You're not just saying everybody gets the same amount of water, everybody gets the same amount of sunlight, everybody's getting everything exactly the same. I think that you've you know how to deal with each individual thing on its own terms. So every project that you have, every person that you deal with, everything that you're sort of giving some of your energy to is unique, right? Special. And I think that you know what you're doing in that way. And I think it's more of an intuitive knowing than it is, I read it in a book and this is what I was taught. I think it is definitely more intuitive than that. But you're just kind of like, I say you have these 10 fishing poles in the water, right? I think you're catching 10 different types of fish. You have, the poles are different, the weight of the line is different, your sinkers and lures and bobbers and hooks and everything are different, the bait is different on every single one. You know what I mean? So it's not, it's very diversified, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. And I think everything, it feels like everything's sort of happening at once, but I feel like it's sort of been growing. All these little things have been making a little bit of progress, doing pretty good over here, sort of okay over there. It felt like it's been kind of slow, but I think now, realizing that everything's sort of hitting at once, I mean, it kind of feels like a tower moment. I have my high hopes for the mystery card. But this is kind of a card now that's saying you're still being instructed to go slow and take your time and be very cautious and make sure that you don't go overboard with anything. It's kind of like an energy here. Don't reel the fish in too fast, right? You're going to snap your line. Or worse, snap your pole or lose your pole or whatever, right? One of them might be a boot or a tire. You never know. So go slow. You don't have to reel them in super fast. It's going to be better. It's going to be better for you to just go slow. Take your time. Take your time with it. Okay. The universe card underneath everything, right? This is your general energy. Under the surface, right? This is the unconscious sort of general energy. I guess it wouldn't be then very general if it's unconscious. This is your general energy. This under the surface. I think that it perhaps has begun in life, begun seeming as if it would never end, right? Sometimes the universe here can be a cold, dark, lonely, scary place. It's vast, right? It's sort of infinite expanse of nothingness. And sometimes we feel that reality. Sometimes we feel as if we're moving further and further away from our goals, rather than things getting closer and contracting and everything's coming to us, right? That we want to have enough gravitas in our own being that we can bend space and time and things can start rolling toward us, right? That we have the gravity to attract the good things in life, not to feel as if the universe is just sort of expanding outward and we're just going along with it and we're getting further and further away from our goals, further and further away from ourselves, from our people, our pets, our plants, right? Everything. But nevertheless, despite that feeling, I think that you've kept the discipline, you've kept faith, you've kept the hope. You've said it's gonna come together eventually. So I think you've done a lot of self-work in order to keep yourself disciplined and build yourself up. It's kind of like, you started out as a really small star, really just a little tiny baby star, right? And you had no planets, nothing was coming toward you, right? That you were just subject to one pull of gravity, one gravitational field after another, right? Until you started to build yourself up into a decent-sized star, right? And now you're attracting things. Now you got your own planets. Now you got some comets that are going by every few hundred years or whatever. So I feel that you've done a lot of self-work to build yourself up into the best version of yourself. You're doing a lot of that spiritual work, a lot of karmic work, and it's working, right? It's paying off, right? They say what's the point of meditating if you still go to work and you're just still stressed out? You're still in traffic yelling and screaming at the other motorists, right? And that's true, I think, in a sense, because if we're doing this internal work, we want to see it sort of rubbing off in our daily life somehow, right? And so it might be handling stress a little bit better. It might just be, meditating. I'm getting my blood pressure under control, right? It's something I got to work on personally. I'm not stressing out about everything the way I used to. I feel better. I'm able to focus on joy a little bit more than I used to. There are effects of all of this spiritual work. It's not just I'm doing all this spiritual work and what good has it got me? I'm still not a millionaire, right? No, the benefits of our spiritual work are perhaps subtle, right? And we have to be aware of how it is affecting our interactions with the world itself. Now, this is the card of the world. This is the card of the universe. And of course, the sun card is your interaction with the universe itself, right? So I feel like you have a lot more confidence in yourself. Anyway, the discipline, I think, is really what's paying off with a lot of these other projects. Now, I don't know if these are necessarily investments or little side hustles, little businesses or partnerships, or just, the handshake agreements with somebody that says, hey, one day, let's, if you ever get a lead on something, let me know, we'll work together. I think a lot of those little things are starting to come around. You're attracting all these good things to you right now. And I think it really is going to be a financial blessing for you. We see in the past position, the Princess of Wands. This is the impulsive behavior that we sometimes like, sometimes don't like. We're sort of dancing with the tiger here. This is the risky investments. It could be that you literally have put your energy in a lot of other places that none of them are guaranteed. None of them are sure shots. People around you maybe have said, why are you doing that? That's risky business. What's the point, But you just said, I got a hunch. I'm going to just do a little bit of stuff here and there and all over the place. And, maybe something will come in one day, right? And so I feel that it kind of, again, it was this intuitive impulse that led you to do a lot of these things. Even though the knowledge maybe wasn't there at the beginning, you didn't really, I think at the time, have very high hopes for any of them. But you just decided to put those irons in the fire. You decided to cast your line up. And you know what? No one's ever tried peanut butter as fish bait, so, I'll try it. And, you cast your lines out, and I think you put a bunch of them out, and people were just like, you're nuts. But now I think your ship's coming in, right? But again, you need people to help you reel all this stuff in. And I think that's why we got the 1, 2, 3, 4 court cards here. And the court cards we do have are very interesting. We have a knight, a queen, a prince, and a princess. We have all members of the family. We don't have all of the suits, but we have all members of the family, right? So it's kind of a full house here. And it might be that you already have the team in place. That could be why we have, we got like mom and dad and we got 2 kids, kind of standard court card tarot stuff here. Don't read into it beyond that. It's just the balance of the elemental energies, right? We've got fire, water, air, and earth. Seems like a complete unit, right? So I think that you maybe have a team, or you have people already around you, right, that are going to offer assistance to you in some way, that are going to help you kind of bring all this together, right? Kind of feels like it's a hand-picked team, kind of a bit of a dream team right now, yeah. That older male energy that's attached to you, that I believe has passed, the C or K name is what I'm getting for them. Yeah. I feel like they were part of your team at one point, Like I feel like it was a family member that maybe you had done a lot of sort of, in the past, maybe you had done a lot of work with them, or they sort of had the same sort of energy. It's like this kind of experimental, let's just try a bit of everything kind of energy, yeah. They may be represented by this air sign up here with the Knight of Swords. It's at the top here of the Path of the Dove. And the Knight of Swords is sometimes like a rush of information all at once, And that's another thing, really. I mean, a lot of this stuff kind of shows that this is happening very fast for you. It feels like all of a sudden, all of these ships are coming in. All of a sudden, all your fishing poles are getting bites, right? And I think that this is you figuring out how to prioritize your energy right now. Because I think some of these are going to and how do you know? You got 10 poles in the water. They're all, dipping. Which one do you grab first? Right? I think it's got to just be intuitive. I think you just act. It's not we're going to sit there and figure out and try to analyze maybe which one had which bait, so which fish is on there, so which one do I have to grab first? I think you just leap forward and grab one and start, it's like you've got all these phones set up in front of you. They're all ringing. They all want to do business with you, right? Just answer one. The longer you wait, the worse it's going to be. Just pick one up and say hello, Just start reeling it in. The sooner we get to work, the sooner that we can get all this fish on board. Yeah. I hope you don't mind the fish analogy. So this is the real sort of decisiveness. We're not stopping to think and analyze and reason out which one is which. Right? We're just moving forward, because I think it is going to happen relatively fast, especially with that 8 of Wands. The 8 of Wands is sort of a burst of energy. It's kind of like, maybe it's been slow and steady and not much happening. It's just been a real slow, real quiet day on the water, right? And then suddenly, bang, suddenly all the fish are biting. Suddenly everybody's getting a hit on their pole and all at the same time, okay? So we've got to just start reeling stuff in. We just got to if you're standing around, find something to do is the idea here, because the 9 of Pentacles is a lot of progress, a lot of stuff coming in, the potential to really bring in a lot of revenue, a lot of financial blessings, right? And again, I don't know if you're retired, maybe you're in school, maybe you're in the middle of a career. I feel like you've got a lot of other stuff going on too. There's a chance it's not financial, but I feel like it is success, it is progress of a measurable kind, one way or the other, right? So we're just going to say it's money. It feels like money. It feels like it is your discipline, your tenacity, your intuition, right, is paying off. This is the visible sign of progress. This is where there's fish in every cooler, right? There's fish in every little fish basket. It's all over the place. There's abundance now, and it's filling up, right? And it's a good feeling, especially when we have been feeling as if things are scarce out here. right? You're in this vast universe expanding. It's a long distance from one paycheck to the other, right? Within an expanding universe, it feels like an eternity from paycheck to pay. Like 2 weeks feels like a lifetime, you know? But now things are coming closer. All this empty space, you're filling it up with, I don't know, fish or whatever. We're going to talk about the path of the serpent now, and as we do this, I would like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do it. It is free, it doesn't cost anything, and it supports the channel, and I really do appreciate that. Yeah. General energy is this Queen of Cups. It might come to a head here in that you may have to take a look at everything that's going on right now, all this abundance, all of this manifestation that's going on around you. And you may have to really decide which are really the most important to you. Because I feel like you can't continue to sustain this, you know. I feel like you're going to have to feel which one you really care about the most, and that's the one you're going to devote yourself to. Okay? With the fishing analogy, this is that infinite ocean. It's kind of saying that there's just billions of fish, right? And I guess it's a renewable resource. I don't know. I'm not getting into that stuff. The idea here is that they say there's a lot of fish in the sea, right? And there is. Which do you want? What is it that you really desire here? Because I think there's going to be the option there to maybe keep doing what you're doing and then just this fishing stuff, just a hobby, right? Or there's this idea of you can make it your full-time gig, right? I feel like there's a lot going on underneath the surface of the waters here, and you've got to kind of be real honest with yourself. This is the card of emotional honesty, radical self-acceptance. What do you want to do? You know, moving forward, what is your path going to look like? Because I feel that now you're realizing that, wow, a lot of these different irons that have been in the fire can be very successful. They're already showing some good potential, you know, like, do you want to commit to one or other of them, or do you want to continue doing your day job and just have these as little side hustles, side projects, and weekend kind of things, right? And I feel like that is really, that's not an easy decision, you know? So I feel like maybe we need some new goals right now. We need to sort of search ourselves and figure out what we want. Figure out what really is going to make you happy in your heart, you know? Is one or other of these projects really speaking to you? Is that really what you really wish for, and the life that you really desire, and the work that you really desire? Is there sort of a shifting of your focus or of your purpose now? Yeah. So your general energy, I feel like you're very, very jubilant. Again, it feels very, very happy. And then comes that idea of, you know, I want to keep feeling happy. So what do I need to do? You know, do I just keep things exactly how they are? Or, you know, how do I sort of tap into this current, right? Because again, this is the water. This is part of that conductor of that spiritual electricity, right? Or if it's a current of water, right? We want to sort of, we want to be able to gauge which direction is going to be the best for us, not only physically and financially, but emotionally, spiritually too, creatively. And so I think the Queen of Cups is really trying to determine which current to go along with, right? Which way do we start paddling, you know? The Sun card in the environment, I think, is just tremendous confidence. I think that you have you do have this sort of weight to you, you know, this gravitas. I feel that you are, in some ways, it just feels like you are larger than life right now, you know. This is the really good feeling when, with the financial blessings like this, you know, it is so life affirming, right? That the universe is coming closer to you. And like we were saying about the the vast universe. Everything's sort of expanding outward, and it's getting further and further between paycheck and paycheck, you know. But to have everything now sort of flowing toward you, right? As, you know, the planets kind of are, you know, all orbiting the sun, and this is now a force of nature, right? I feel that it feels so good. You know, it's a relief. But there's also a pride here, you know, and then a confidence that's resulting from this because your efforts are paying off. Yeah. At the same time, this card is also, the sun, you know, is always extending its light outward. It always, you know, it's always giving of itself. The sun always gives of its light indiscriminately, right? The sun is going to give away all its light until it just burns out, doesn't have any more left. And that's a cold fact of nature, right? That the sun is just constantly burning, you know, as much as it can. Now, there's a certain equilibrium in a star that needs to be taken into account. And I think it's very important because if you give, with this success, if you just kind of give all of your energy away, you're going to extinguish yourself very quickly. So the equilibrium there is you resisting the pressures from outside, right? It's kind of like in a star, you know, they have this nuclear furnace, let's say, inside that's trying to expand the star as quickly as possible, right? It's this outward force, right? But then the force of gravity, the bigger it gets, the more gravity it has. And so that force of gravity is trying to crush the star, right? So the pressure from outside, let's say, is equal to the pressure coming from inside. And it remains relatively stable. Now, I don't know that much about astrophysics or anything, but I took a course in college once a long time ago. But to me, it feels like there has to be an equilibrium between the pressures coming from outside and the pressure we put on ourselves from inside, right? So that we can continue to do our work in the world for as long as possible. And even in that state of equilibrium, it's not precise, right? So eventually we're going to burn out or be crushed under the weight of our own success, you know? And in some ways we can liken this to an individual or to a business. If you grow too fast, you're going to go supernova, right? You don't grow fast enough. You don't burn fast enough. You're going to be squished down into a little dwarf star, I guess, maybe, right? And so we need to apply the right kind of, you know, protocol here for your life and make sure that you are, that you're burning bright enough to resist the pressures coming in, that you're able to continue to grow and expand your life, but not too fast, right? That you sort of run out of resources too quickly. Yeah. But you know, not to go so slowly that all of this kind of goes away. You know what I mean? We've got to take advantage of it while it's here. And if we don't have the confidence to reach out and grow and do these things and you know, take these opportunities, it's not gonna last long. Does that make sense? And so the next card we have, of course, is the very good Leo energy here with the Prince of Wands. It is a very fixed and stable fire energy. And, you know, the Leo energy is that fixed fire. And to me, it represents the sun at its very best energy, the most sort of equilibrated energy. The force is coming in from outside, but there's also this expanding force from inside, and it keeps it in a relatively stable place where it can continue, you know, orbiting whatever the black hole at the center of the galaxy or whatever it does. And so this is sort of the equilibrium that we're looking for. This is what we need right now. You know, we need the ability to grow and to pursue these opportunities, you know, at a very steady pace, not too fast, not too slow. Too slow, we get crushed. Too fast, and we sort of burn out our energy, and it's, you know, it dissipates. Okay? And it's like, it could be likened to a company. It grows too fast, bad news. Grows too slow, and it just gets sort of swept away in the current. Okay? So this is what you need right now, but this was also the obstacle. This was the obstacle when we were here. When we were on the path of the dove, this is the card we didn't want, because this was commitment to one thing. Well, you're saying, no, I've got a lot of different things that I'm committed to, and I'm going to have all my fishing poles in the water. All my lines are going to be in the water, and I'm just going to see what happens, right? That's very different than this, because this is sort of steady commitment to one pole, right? One fishing line. And so I think that we really need to understand where we're putting our efforts now, and to sort of focus them, consolidate them with this. Now we need this card. Before we didn't need it, now we need it. We need it now so that we don't expend too much energy in too many different things. It's kind of like a business. You're really good at making frying pans, right? That's your thing. You're good at it. Then you start making saucepans. Then you start making cookie sheets. Then you start going into blenders. You start making plates and dishes. Pretty soon you start making cars and elevators. And it's, no. Then the whole thing's just going to crumble and suffer, and you're not even going to be able to make the frying pans anymore. Stick to what's working and branch out a little bit from there, but stay focused on that core, your core product or service, or what you're known for in a way. So that's sort of the illustration for the Prince of Wands right now. Okay, this is the energy that we need in order to continue this success into the future. And the High Priestess, of course, like I said, is the light, is that spiritual, that divine energy, that message from Spirit showing you the way to that best life. That, I think, that Empress energy on the other side of the High Priestess. They're showing you the way through the darkness to get to that Empress energy. And it's using your intuition. That's what it is. We're not really trying to calculate too much. We don't have a lot of swords cards here. You feel how you feel. You let your feelings flow. You let your mind sort of be very decisive about things. And you use your intuition, which, if these are not interfering, you'll be able to hear the voice of your intuition very clearly. All right, that's the fire to the earth. That's the electrical circuit kind of thing. Let's look at the mystery card. Empress energy, or what did I say it was going to be before? I don't remember. I'm thinking Empress, but I don't know. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. Here we go. The Knight of Pentacles, yes. The Knight of Pentacles was what I said at the beginning, where it's like the Knight of Pentacles is looking into the future and saying, who are you, where are you, and what are you doing 5 or 10 years down the road? And then I said, I feel like you're here already. Well, now you're being told to do it again. Have another vision of the future. Look at your next long-term goal. Right? And that's going to help you decide how to move forward on the path of the serpent here. Like I said before, you had your long-term goal, and it involved you kind of diversifying and having a lot of irons in the fire and all the different, fishing poles. Now you're being told to have another look at your long-term plans, long-term goals, and I was going to combine plans and goals. It would have been poles, right? Now we're being told to look again, right, and see what your next, we could be talking about a year, 5 years, 10 years, whatever. Your next sort of long-term plan. Who do you want to be? Where do you want to be? What do you want to be doing in the future? A month, a year, 5, 10 years. So this is kind of your work now, because then it's going to, whatever the result of this is, you can then formulate the plan, use your intuition, and figure out a way to get, it might be, down a particular thing. Maybe all of these fishing poles were each like different creative projects, different things that maybe different services you could, different side hustles, right? And then, some of them might be better than others. Some of them you might feel more than others. Others, maybe just intuitively, you feel like that's the one. Or with the Knight of Pentacles looking into the future, there might be one or another of these side hustles that, that's the one that really I could do for the next 10 years. That's the one that I could see getting bigger and bigger and bigger in the next few years, right? Maybe some of these, it's maybe good now, but there's really not of distance in them, blessed reading for you, Sagittarius. I'm so excited. We're going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around, there's a link up top. There's a link down below. If you don't want to watch the extended readings here, you can go to the website, doveandserpenttarot.com, sign up over there, become a member of the website, and you can have access to the extended readings for all signs, for every reading. They're over there right now anyway. New readings for Sagittarius Wednesday and Sunday here on YouTube. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free. It does not cost anything. And leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we're all in this together.